Hi, epparry here. Uh, in this video I'm going to take you through the creation as I see it, as set out in Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Always found that opening couple of lines a little difficult, in the sense that I'm not quite sure whether the first line, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, is a title, or whether it is actually the point at which he creates the heaven and earth. Either way, there is a problem. If it's a title, then it appears to me that the next line suggests that the earth has already formed of water, and that God didn't actually have to do that. Or if it's at the point at which heaven and earth are created in their first creation, it seems a bit strange that God then recreates heaven further down in the passage. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and morning were the first day. Difficulty I have with this section is that he created light, which is fine, and then he divided it, light from the darkness, in some way. He couldn't have done that in space. He could only have done it in time, as really space, in the sense that we would understand it, did not exist at that point. Also, he differentiated between them being day and being night. Now, we know that the sun is the source of the light which creates the day on our planet, and that the night is the point at which the earth is turned away from the sun. So the whole of that is, to my mind, very, very strange. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning was the second day. This is quite an interesting thing, because it sort of talks about above and below, and that the waters are separated into two places, and that heaven is the piece in between. So that we have above us in the sky, we have a watery place, like another ocean of some kind, and then we have the bit in between, what some people would call the air or the sky, but he called it heaven. And then we have the waters below. So everything between the waters above and the waters below is heaven, and that's an important issue when we come to our discussion later on. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. Now, the problem with this is that we now have a kind of flat earth appearing, where the waters and the earth are sort of moved side by side with each other, in a sort of linear fashion, with the heaven above, and then this watery substance which is above the sky, above us. So I have a problem with the sort of flat earth approach, and the flat earth idea is also shown somewhere else in the Bible, where they talk about the stars being like a canopy or tent above the earth. A canopy or tent sits over something flat. You can't have a canopy or tent over something spherical. Also, the Bible somewhere else refers to the world being round, which many Christians, particularly the fundamentalists, point to and say, well, God knew that, and the Bible knows that the earth is round. But actually the earth is a sphere, and for centuries they believed that the flat earth was a circle. And God called the dry land earth. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the yew tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. It's a jolly good job that he moves very quickly in the next passage to creating the sun, because as we know, most plants require photosynthesis to operate themselves. So it's a good job he did that then on the next day, otherwise they would have died. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years." Nothing to do with creating light, of course. "And let them be 4 lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. Now, there's a sort of contradiction with his now, because he's now saying that these are actually required to provide the light which he'd already produced and created day and night. And God made the 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over day and night, day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and morning were the 4th day. So rather late in the day he creates the sun and the moon. The Bible seems to completely miss the fact that sometimes the moon appears in the daytime sky and is responsible for creating eclipses where the moon moves over the surface of the sun, blocking it out, so the light from the sun disappears. But funnily enough, the moon doesn't produce light, because of course the moon is reflected light from the sun. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the water in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth." And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. This is probably the only passage in the creation story which I don't have a problem with in terms of the logic of the Bible. I have a problem with it because it misses the whole thing of evolution out, but I don't have a problem with it in terms of the logic of the Bible itself. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind." And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Although you've got to keep an eye open for that snake, I think, which of course he made. And God said, "Let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it," etc., 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 etc. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. Just a creation of humankind with the rest of the animals. So what's my sort of message from this? Well, first of all, there are some major inconsistencies in the way in which the world was put together and how it was put together, and the order in which it was put together, and what works and what doesn't work. So, for example, the way in which the light was created, sort of independently of the sun and the moon, just beggars belief. The idea that we've got some kind of super ocean somewhere over our heads is also, something which just doesn't gel, particularly with what we know about the way in which the universe is constructed. And finally, the issue of the fact that the word heaven is used to describe the peace which exists between the upper waters and the lower waters. And correct me if I'm wrong, but as man stands on the earth and sits in boats on the ocean, he must he not actually be in heaven? So we're already there. All of us are already in heaven. And I don't understand why the Bible hasn't recognized the fact that humankind and all the beasts of the earth and the fowls that are in the air are already in heaven. So where are we supposed to be going to go afterwards?